Hello, beautiful people. How are you? This is Kamara. I'm so glad that you are joining me again today. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you have all that you need in life and that this reading will provide you with additional information, maybe some inspiration for whatever is coming up for you. Please know that my readings are general, so you may have to take what you can use and discard what doesn't feel right for you. This is a pick a card, so you get 3 choices here. But know that if none of these choices work for you, then perhaps this is just in general not the reading for you. If one choice that you make works for you, but you're curious about the others, feel free to watch all 3 or 2 of them, or whatever you want. Generally, pick a cards are good so that you can focus in on the energy and participate with your own intuition with me in the reading. So this is a powerful reading, y'all. It came to me last night, and I gotta tell you that I've just been hearing, you need to do this reading, you need to do this reading. So last week I did what is your level up. This week I'm doing what is your love level up for your new cycle. Where are you when it comes to love and partnership in your next cycle? And what is it that you need to know about how you're going to benefit from any love relationship? What do partners need to know about you? This is a great reading for cross watchers too, because I think that if you're a cross watcher, you're going to get a lot of information here. If it's you that you're inquiring about in terms of your own love relationships in your next cycle, then stay tuned. There's a lot of informational downloads that I've been getting. So you have options 1, 2, and 3. Let me show you them up close. So this is the oracle card for option number 1. For option number 2, Crossing Fate, the Crossing Fate card. For option number 3, we have Venus Undone. Hopefully you could see all those. So take a moment to meditate on option 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to have the timestamps below. Please, again, I just want to invite you to listen to as many as you think that you need to receive the information that you think will benefit you and inspire you. And again, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate your support. Okay, let's move on to number 1. Hello, group number 1. Thank you for joining me on this pick a card. In this reading, we're going to be talking about how you are leveling up in love, in your love relationships, in your romantic relationships, in your partnerships, in your new cycle. So thank you for joining me. This reading is timeless whenever you get it. I got to let you know, group number 1, that last night was when I got the download to start picking the oracle cards for this reading. And the whole time I was picking the oracle cards for this reading, I kept getting different songs every group that I would go to. And so your song, group number 1, is very interesting. Now, this is an old vintage classic song I got. And the song was by Diana Ross. If you don't know who Diana Ross is, she's like a musical icon. But of kind of like the 70s, 80s, maybe even into the 90s. And I think she was definitely an icon even before that, maybe in the 60s. She used to be in a group called the Supremes. Anyway, it's an old Diana Ross song that I got that I had always, for some reason, I thought the lyrics went like this. It's called This House, and it was recorded, produced in 1989. And so you can look up a video. It's a very well-known song, so it's on YouTube somewhere. But this house, it's like the chorus goes, It's my house and I'm living here. But you know what I heard last night, group number one, which was amazing? It was, it's my house and I'll let him in. So I was like, what are the actual lyrics? Because I'm not sure if that's the lyrics. You know, when I was hearing, it's my house and I'll let him in. And I was just like, let him in. I go, was that the lyrics? So I looked at the lyrics and it was actually, it's my house and I'm living here. But you got to know that this is a powerful song because I feel like for you, group number one, this with the oracle card, I gotta say that this song, it made so much sense for your group. There's like in the lyrics, it's talking about how she's built this beautiful house. You know, she's describing it as having these beautiful windows and this stairway with a lot of lights, and there's so much beauty. And she says in the lyrics, she's like, this house was built for love. And then there's another part of the lyrics where it says, there's a candle to light the stairs. She says, where my dreams await someone to share. So it's like there's this whole throughout the song, she's saying that if you want to move me, you've got to follow the rules to get me. Isn't that deep, number one? So what I thought about this song for you as I look at the oracle card, group number one, is that you are such a powerful person. And I got from Spirit that you've done a lot of work on yourself, that you understand this is the pinnacle of you understanding exactly who you are. Some of you as a high priestess, many of you as an oracle. A lot of you have stepped recently into your psychic powers, magical abilities. And it's not so much just because you want to show them off for people. You understand how to build, how to manifest in this energy, group number one. And this is regardless of genders. I want to let you know that if you're watching this and you're not in the feminine identity, don't worry about it, because this is about the divine feminine energy, which is a manifesting energy, which is often considered high priestess, that's considered psychic, considered mysterious, that deals with the unknown and known, the conscious and unconscious. So this oracle energy is you, group number one. I have a feeling it's you. And you see here how she's holding the moon. She's holding an orb of golden light. And it's like the moon is behind her too. And there's a sense of like dealing with alchemy. There's something about you that understands that you are an alchemist of life, that there's an inner peace about you, that you've built your life. Maybe I get from for many of you, this has not always been an easy life. It's been one where you've had to do without. Maybe you were raised in really tough, impoverished childhood, even for some of you. And impoverished, I don't necessarily always mean that your family didn't have money. It could have been impoverished emotionally. It could have been impoverished in terms of like love and nurturing. But there's a way in which I get for some of you, you've had to like raise yourself. You've had to build yourself up. And for some of you, this has been self-esteem, like really having to build who you are. So symbolically, when we go back to the song and it's talking about it's my house, the house is a symbol. It's an ancient symbol of talking about yourself as the containment of yourself. Like who you are is your house, group number one. So your house speaks to spiritually as the thing of who you are. It contains your soul, it contains your spirit, it contains your heart, your humanity. And so when that song came up, I felt immediately for you, group number one, that this is about someone who, in their next love level up, is bringing forth authentically who they are. They're not stepping out of their center. They are complete in who they are. And anyone who's coming towards them in love needs to know this about them, group number one. It's very powerful because you're not going to change who you are. You're not looking to be shaped by anyone in love. This is not that kind of story. And it speaks so much because some of you, I think, are cross-watchers. If you're cross-watching this and you are wondering about this person of interest and you believe it's them, that they are the oracle, then I've got to tell you, it's very important. This reading is going to be very important for you to understand who this person is, because your love, your access to them will depend on it. And so that's the same for you, group number one. Like, anyone who wants to be involved with you in this next cycle, in this level up of love and relationship, needs to understand who you are, group number one. You are the oracle. You are the oracle. Now, I made some of my own cards over the holidays, and this is the card, when I shuffled it, that came out for you, group number one. It's a snake holding a red egg. And it's almost like a fertility card, like a menstrual magic card. And again, it speaks to the deep divine energy of this group, of group number one. Like, this is, I feel from you all that you are part of this ancient divine feminine, that ancestrally, this is where you're rooted. This is the part of the ancestral lineage that you connect with the most, group number one. What's dark, mysterious. For some of you, this is like a Scorpio card or a Pluto card. So if you have Scorpio placements or Pluto placements in very strong houses, like the first house or the 12th house or the 8th house, this is probably a good, this is a good indicator for you. If you don't have any of those placements, don't worry, but it's like Pluto placements there, Scorpio on the ascendant or first house, Scorpio, sun, moon, yeah. But this can also be just water too, Cancer, Pisces, prominent in your chart, some water in your chart. Also some vision. So this could be Aquarius. This could be, Libra. This could also be very earth, like Taurus. I'm seeing like you have like, these are the mystical signs, the signs that kind of work with the divine feminine energies. So, and don't worry if you don't have any of those signs. I'm just saying it may resonate the most for people of those signs. So let's move on to other oracle cards. So I checked in with the Blue Messiah cards, and we've got the Blue Star, and we also have Inner Alchemy. So again, these cards were picked last night for you, group number one, and we will go through and do some tarot reading as well. But these are your oracle cards for the reading. So the Blue Star and Inner Alchemy, I think that speaks so much to your process, group number one. Again, I feel that a lot of you have grown so much in the last, I want to say, I'm getting 12 months or so. Like, I mean, you've just like really leveled up in the last 12 months. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because we've been in a pandemic. Like we've really had a lot of our lives go through a transition. And in that transition, group number one, you surrendered to your inner alchemy. You surrendered to this place, to this position of the oracle. And it was important for you to do this, to understand how you align with your own inner energies. The blue star is about alignment with your purpose, with your mission, with your own inner powers, group number one. So again, this is confirming that oracle position, that position of being steeped in the divine feminine. Let's lay out the rest of your oracle cards. So Justice came up. Sekhmet came up. And Archangel Michael came up. Just want you to see all these. So when, let me just make sure that you could see all of these. Yeah, you can. So when I asked about guides for you, you've got the Justice card here. That's a guiding energy for you, group number one. And again, if you're Libra, it's kind of showing up here too in the scales. But the Justice card is interesting. And I like this Black Power Tarot. If you haven't seen it, it features a lot of different famous Black artists. This is Eartha Kitt as the Justice card. And the Justice card, we're going to go through the numerology soon. But the Justice card here, she sits holding the scales, holding balance. It's rebalancing yourself, group number one. But she also does this with the sword upright, meaning that a lot of you had to not only work with your intuition, but you also worked on the mental. There was a way in which you understood that you had to balance out the mental, group number one, with the intuitive to understand at a whole who you are. And that's justice. Not leaning too far to the left, not leaning too far to the right, but understanding the middle path. And so for you, group number one, that is the power of the oracle. When the oracle starts to understand how to stay in the center, how to own their peace, how to own their energy, this is the master level of the oracle, group number one. And so what begins to happen here is that you get the Sekhmet card as what is the medicine that you're dealing with, group number one? What is the medicine of love that you're bringing forth? And I think what you're coming to understand, group number one, with the Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the goddess of fire, of restoration, of healing. And so here it says wounded healer. You understand through your power, through the newfound understanding of your power, group number one, there's an understanding of where you hold wounds. And for many of you, the last and final frontier is love. The last and final frontier is relationship, because now you know yourself. Now you're in relationship with self. The Sekhmet is also telling me that many of you have done shadow work or continue to do the shadow work, continue to embrace your shadow. If that is something that is new to you, then maybe this is a message for you to do that, to embrace the places in which you heal from. But I get a sense that you've already understand this about yourself, group number one, that the healing that you can provide to others has to do with healing yourself from those very same experiences. That is the journey of the wounded healer. That is the wounded healer's power, is to know what that experience is. So when someone comes to you and they say, my heart is broken because of this and that, you can tap into the place of who you are, group number one, and find healing for them. This is very divine feminine approach to healing, which is that I don't become the expert by reading books or becoming certified. I become the expert because I've experienced it and transmute those very same wounds myself. I live with those very same wounds myself. And so coming in for you, group number one, as a powerful guide is Archangel Michael. And if you see around Archangel Michael's, there's the words clarity, truth, protection. This is in terms of like where you're going in this new season, where you're going to encounter love, group number one. It's going to be from a place of truth. It's going to be from a place of protecting all of what you've built, your house. And it's also coming from a place of like clarity. Like you're not gonna just allow yourself to get involved with someone and then have a lot of guessing games going on or wondering about who they really are. This is not what you've built is so strong, group number one, but it's also what you're understanding is it's very valuable. You are not going to destroy your house. You are not going to burn down your house for a new love interest or a new partnership if it's not based on truth. If this partner is not protective of who you are and all the work you've done, if they don't communicate in clarity. So Archangel Michael is a great energy to call in to understand that about this new love cycle, group number one. So let's go into the numerology before we get into the tarot reading. So group number one, you have the number 4 over the blue star. And the number 4 it represents being unbreakable in your spirit. The number 4 is about self-control. Again, group number one, you've built up a structure. You've built things in containment. You've understand that your power needs that. It manifests perfectly when there's order around chaos, magic, psychic abilities. These other realms, they have laws, but they also can be chaotic if you don't know the laws of spirit. And I think you do, group number one. You've spent a lot of time, some of you, studying the spiritual laws. You have here also, group number one, 14. You have the number 1. You have the number 15. And then you have the number 8. Where did I get 8? Oh, 8 from the Justice card. So when I added up all these numbers together, you know what I'm noticing? I left off the add up of 14, but when I added up these numbers together, there was something about the number 1 that stuck out for me, which is your group number 1. And 1 being the number of the master. And 1 being, some of you might be in Aries even, because 1 being the first house. 1 being, there's something I'm getting from spirit right now that there may be a worthwhile looking at your first house, whoever's watching this. You don't have to be in Aries. But if you are, some of you might be in Aries, but others of you, there's important information, planetary information that has to do with your first house in terms of what's coming up in love for you. what's coming up in this wounded healer position. If you've gotten this, you might even want to look at where your Chiron is in your astrology chart to understand just what particular wounds do you heal from and are able to offer healing to. When it comes to love, group number 1, this all says to me that you've done the individual work and now you're heading into the territory of partnership, collaboration. But there is some of your own rules that are in place. You're not going to let anyone come in and destroy all of the healing work that you've done. So you can imagine, group number 1, that this puts this person, the bar has been the bar has been raised on this person, group number 1. And I guess this also says to me that you're being cautioned to know that you're no longer the same person. You no longer participate in relationships that don't provide any reciprocity, that in relationships that are toxic, in relationships that don't allow you to continue to build your house. It is your house, group number 1. Now let's get into the tarot reading, group number 1, because we're going to ask about this love that's coming towards you. And what is it that you need to know? You're still here in the center, group number 1. I feel your power. It's not so much that I hear the word uncompromising. It's not so much that you're stubborn or that you're not willing to collaborate or work with someone. It's not that. It's not that someone has to be perfect. But I think that you're at a position now, group number 1, where they've had to have done a certain amount of work to even get access to you. And so you've got to know that just by the nature of the collective, that the last couple of years have given individuals opportunities to go within. The collective has had opportunities to go within. Now, there are people who decided to take that time in isolation, the time to reflect, to grow, to understand who they were in their heart, their mind, their spirit. And there's people who didn't do that work. There were people who just were anxious to get back to normal, whatever that was, whatever that continues to be. And I think for you, group number 1, you didn't do that. You went within. You got curious about yourself and your own process. And in doing that, you perfected more of who you were. So let's get the oracle cards going. We have a 7 of Pentacles in reverse. My cat is running around here like crazy, group number 1. So there's something about your reading that's got a lot of energy coming out for her. 3 of Wands, also in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. I'm going to pick one more card here, group number 1. Let's see if I can move these slightly up. Let's choose one more card. Temperance. You know what I get here, group number one, is that there's not a lot of more work that you need to put in terms of figuring out how relationships need to work for you. I think you understand this now. The Seven of Pentacles is about understanding that material success alone may not bring you complete happiness. Work in and of itself. Some of you have done really well in your careers lately, or the business, if you have a business of your own, or you've been very successful. Maybe some of you are students. You've been very successful in those endeavors. But I think you're understanding that you need something else to complete this pentacle, the successes that you've experienced. And you understand that it's not necessarily that you are looking for the next best thing, or the next adventure, or like that's not the thing that's missing for you. In fact, you're not even sure if it's the same kind of partner that you've been typically involved with. Like there's something about your life, the old you, the things that the old you used to attract, the things that the old you found attractive, such as this Knight of Swords in reverse. Even that kind of energy doesn't appeal to you anymore, because you're understanding that life is a careful balance. This Temperance card is about understanding your emotions, but the balance of also manifesting new things into your life, but giving the equal weight to your challenges, giving equal weight to your wounds. So there's something here, group number one, where I won't say that you're bored, but I'm saying the things that used to attract you, they don't attract you anymore. And I think it's necessary for you to be okay with giving those things up. Maybe you don't go to those same parties or the same club that you used to go to, or those same friends that you're partying out with at night who are like, let's go find some guys, or let's go find some folks to, sex up, like the way that you even like used to go out and like search for a partner, that doesn't even appeal to you. Or maybe even like searching online, that's not even appealing. So let's just see, where is it that group number one is going to find this new partnership? Where is it that you're searching for more? Ooh, what's that felt? King of Wands, group number one. Yeah. That's who's coming forward. That energy, this could be a fire sign. This could be, it's definitely someone who is charismatic, can, I say fire sign, and it just could be signs that are prominent in this person's chart, but this is someone who takes action on life. I kind of get that they are really into extreme sports even. They could be. This is someone who likes adventure, someone who is connected to nature, but they're also someone who, it's kind of interesting. If I put this first stack of cards over here. It's interesting, group number one, they're looking towards you. They're looking at this oracle, and there's something that they see. They see all of you. They see this person who has done this work. Look at that, group number 1, the lovers. That's what they see. They see someone who not only completes them, but they see this counterpart. It's like they see your ability, group number 1, to hold fire. And while they are the King of Wands, they are the Master of Fire themselves. And it's very interesting to me, because this is what's coming up, group number 1. The oracle is the holder, the shaper of fire, can shape fire. And this is fire. This is the fire. This is that energy for you, group number 1. And so this counterpart brings in that energy and allows you to shape them. In this relationship, group number 1, the lovers is also a card to me about completion. The lovers are the two halves that come together as one. And that's beautiful energy. It says to me that you two have an alchemy that it's very powerful. And I think too that there's water there, right? But then there's also this, there's fire there, but then there's also this water. I don't know if you could see that, but they're standing in water. They are standing in front of a pyramid even, which pyramids to me are conduits of energy, and water representing emotion. And it's like the bodies are made out of the cosmos. This could be a cosmic divine partner, like you two share cosmic beginnings together. Group number 1. Tell me more. Tell me more. Let's see what else the tarot has to say. I'm kind of getting that we go back to that song, It's My House and I'll Let Him In. It's like group number 1, you let in this energy. And there we go with the shadow work. This is the benefit of all the work that you've been doing, group number 1. That shadow work is coming up again. And it may mean that some of this relationship is going to keep triggering some of that shadow work. Like it's going to keep, it may tickle some of that. That's what I'm kind of getting, group number 1. It may tickle some of the whoops. Sorry. That fell on the floor too. You got this Page of Wands too. It's like there's a message coming in from this energy, group number 1, Page of Wands, that there's an offering, a communication coming in soon for you. So I get that a few of you, many of you have not met this person yet. They are coming in. They're sending a message towards you. It's kind of interesting because this Page of Wands is like sending forth a message, and it feels like air instead of flame, which says to me that it might be that, you know, this person, there's like they have intellectual access to you. So this could be someone who works with you, studies with you. It could be someone who has intellectual access, meaning that they might send you an email, they might send you a note, a letter. This feels very air quality, the communication they're going to send to you. But the wand quality is that it's coming soon, that they're going to reach out for you. to you, group number one. I think you've caught their eye. There's something about your power that they can't forget. And they're going to send you a message clearly, but the message is going to be in air form. That's very Mercury. It's like writing an email, a message, a DM. A DM, group number one. Six of Pentacles. Again, I believe that you are showing yourself, group number one, as someone who's built someone who's built their king or queendom. You know, like you've built something. This person is not coming to you willy-nilly. They're not coming to you unprepared. They know exactly who you are, group number one. And this is the kind of person, just so that you know the distinction, because we all are presented with false twin flames or false lovers. This person will not be false because the way that they come to you is that they already know that you are the oracle, group number one. They already know this about you. They see you as someone who's completely together, completely has got their shit together, if you don't mind me saying. It's like you're not someone who they would step to, not that they would ever do this to anyone, but it's like you're gonna know, because this person is not gonna mistake you. They're not going to have illusions about you. However, this is a new journey for you, group number one. You've got the Fool here. That means that this is a complete different experience. For many of you, this is a different experience. This is not the experience of before. And the Wheel of Fortune shows up right on time. You are here to receive this lesson. The Wheel of Fortune is shown up to you as this is the time. This Nine of Swords means that you are realizing the end, towards the end of a cycle of having to like think about things or rationalize love. This is not that. This is, you're coming to realize the fulfillment of knowing that, you know, love is balance. It has to do with also respecting who I am. It's not so much just the feeling of love, like me having butterflies in my stomach or feeling very sexually attracted to someone. It's about how do they stimulate my mind? It's about how do they fit into what I've built already. At the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups. You're not confused by any of this, but you also have very many options. This person knows that even before you know it, group number one. They know that you have a lot of options coming towards you, because the energy that you're coming with, group number one, is so rare, it's so attractive, that literally this is the first person to notice it. They're like, oh my God, let me jump on this. Literally, let me move forward towards group number one, because I know that there's people out there that once they understand who this oracle is, my chances are I'm just like another fish, you know, another option. Ace of Pentacles. This relationship, as it comes into focus, is about starting even something new on the manifestation plane. Both of you are fire alchemists. And so that means that you will build together. This person is not going to take away from your house or come into your house and take up space. They are going to make additions to your house, group number one. They are going to be a builder with you. Very, very amazing. Remember that this relationship is about remaining in your divine wisdom. And so for many of you, this is about just understanding that you do not need to change. You may have shadow work that still comes forward, and that's going to be natural. But remain in your divine wisdom. Remain who you are, group number one. I really like this for you, group number one. This is a divine partner that understands you. Not only understands you, but fits, I'm getting the alchemy of you. That's beautiful. That's power that's there, that divine feminine power. This is what's drawn to you, this energy. So I think I will leave you here, group number one. This is a powerful new beginning in your next cycle. And I'm happy for you. This is the rewards of good, hard work on yourself, building your life with a good foundation. That way someone comes in and the foundation is there. Everything is prepared. They simply need to be the right person to fit in your situation. Very beautiful, group number one. So let me know if this resonates for you. Make a comment, come back later and make a comment. Like, bookmark this reading, come back and let me know what happens. If this is already starting to unfold in your life, let me know. I'm very excited for you, group number one, and this new season that's coming up for you of love. Remember, you can always call on Archangel Michael to assist in this building of this relationship. But I really get a sense that you have it all there, group number one. So for now, take care. Peace. Hey, group number two, how are you? Thank you for joining me for this reading on your next love level up in your new cycle. This is being filmed in the later part of 2021, but it is a timeless reading. So if you are watching this and we're getting ready to head into 2022, 2022 might be your new cycle, the 666, the 6th year. I said 666. That might be something for you all. It's actually a year of 6, 222. Twos in and of themselves are about partnership, balance. I gotta let you know, group number two, that the groups for this reading came out last night and they were strong. They were so powerful. And so when this came out as your foundational card, group number two, Crossing Fate, it sparked a song. And all the groups have a song, but yours has a very particular song, group number two. And so your song is, by Prince, which is Diamonds and Pearls. It was just kind of like, it just kept playing over and over again. And I'm like, I haven't heard this song in forever. So if you don't know the song, you can look it up on YouTube. Prince has like an official video for it, but it's called Diamonds and Pearls. And so last night I was just like, oh my God, like this one line kept going through my head. And it was the one that was like, would you rather have a boy or a girl? So they're singing Diamonds and Pearls, and they're, I don't even really know what the song's about, but last night I looked up the video and I just like kind of listened to the song, and I wrote down a few of the lyrics that jumped out for me, for you, group number two. So the very first line, Prince says, "This will be the day that you will hear me say, I will never run away." I'm not a singer, but you can go listen to the song. And then, of course, the one line that kept looping over and over again was, would you rather have a boy or a girl? And then there was, all I can do is offer you my love. Let love decide. Let love be the master plan. Love is colorblind. And while I was listening to this song, No Lie, group number 2, I've started to feel all this emotion. Like I just started to feel like a welling up, like I almost wanted to cry. And I was just like, what is this for group number 2? Like, what is happening? And I feel like crossing fate, group number 2, this crossing fate. This particular deck doesn't come with a book. So you really have to, like you're intuiting the meanings of the cards, but crossing fate. Fate are lines that we have if you do palmistry. It's like lines that we have on our hands. But fate is also like crossing fate, like fate is bringing us together. There's something about this particular union. I don't know if you've found it, group number 2, or if it's coming towards you. For some of you, you're in the beginnings of this like relationship that was fated. For others of you, it's coming towards you as a fated relationship. Now, I gotta tell you what I get from this group number 2 is this is a person who you normally would have not imagined you would be with. I want to say for some of you, this is a person from a completely different culture. This might be a person who's racially different from you. And I want to say this either for one of you or both of you or the other of you. There has been some cultural or family stigma with dating outside of your race, with getting involved with people outside of your culture, maybe people outside of your ethnicity. Culture, race, ethnicity, they can be slightly different. So depending on where you are and what communities you're involved with, like you could be a person who is Jewish and you are starting to have a relationship, or you are starting to form a relationship with someone who's Palestinian. You get what I'm saying? Or you could be a person who is Black, African American, and maybe there is this person that you like who is white or identifies as like Caucasian. There could be like anything here, like just like ethnicity wise or nationality wise, like like maybe you're from the same cultural groups, but you have different backgrounds. There's something there, group number 2, this difference that has not always been, I want to say, authorized by the larger society as a relationship that should work. I only bring this up, group number 2, because when I'm listening to Diamonds and Pearls, that story, there's something there about when he says the line, love should be colorblind. There's something about a struggle there. I don't know if there's going to be like a lot of a struggle. Maybe nowadays there's just so much more diversity. There's so much more understanding of each other. The internet has brought us all closer together in terms of like sharing our culture, sharing our ethnicities. But there are still parts of the world where people just are homogenous. They just live within their own culture. But where I live, it's very diverse. Like it's not uncommon for people to date interracially where I live, but that might not be the case for you, group number 2. So I'm presenting this as a theme and at the very beginning. So for some of you, this may or may not ring true for you, but I encourage you to keep watching because I'm not sure if the relationship has exactly happened yet. Whatever it is, group number 2, and this may not even be primarily on looks. It could be religion. It could be that the person is differently abled than you. So there's just like, there's a difference here that this partnership is bringing in, but the partnership is fated, Fated, group number 2. There's something, let's get to the oracle cards because I think whatever it is, the difference that's between you two, group number two, it's not exactly the thing, though. It's not the thing. Fate, if you believe in fate, your ancestors, your spirit, they're bringing you together for larger reasons. We'll see if we can uncover them in this reading. But I gotta tell you, when I pulled my own oracle cards that I made recently, group number two, we got the divination, the Ifa divination, and then we got the tree of life. So the meaning that I have for these cards is very powerful. For some of you, you may have connection with traditional African religion. If you do, then this would specifically mean that perhaps this union needs divination, or you may be called to divination right now in regards to this relationship. If you're not part of traditional African religion and don't have access to Ifa divination, then it simply is a sign that you might want to get some kind of spiritual reading, some kind of spiritual advice. The reason why I say this is because you also, two cards came out, and this card is my ancestor card. This is an ancestor tree, group number two. So it means that there is an ancestral message regarding this fated union, this union that has brought two energies together, group number two. So yeah, I wanted to put that out there too. Let's do with the other oracle cards. So the other oracle cards that came out last night for you, group number two, is Heart Compass, the Lovers. Let's see if I can, I'm so bad at like straightening out my cards here and setting them up. Asasiya. And you also got two cards for some of these decks. You got Asasiya, Tutiba, and you also got the goddess Isis for oracle cards, group number two. So the Heart Compass, that's Spirit's message to you, that this fated union, group number two, this fated crossroads in which you both will meet because you were meant to meet, because destiny wanted you to meet, because something is guiding you both together. It is heart-related work. That's what I meant by there's something more to this union, group number two, than just like you both being attracted to each other and being different people from different backgrounds. There's something about the work that you have to both do together. There's something about your ancestors bringing you both together at this time. Perhaps, and I'm getting for some of you, your ancestors could have been connected in different lives, you know, earlier lives. Your ancestors could have been together, and it's the two families, the two lineages wanting to be together again, partnering again. It could be like that, like very in an ancient way. It could have been that your peoples at some point, maybe in this modern day, your people have conflict, but in ancient times, perhaps your people were actual friends, comrades, you know, collaborators. So there could have been ancient ancestors that want you both together, that want you both to share some kind of like mission together or be together. This could be a divinely, ancestrally ordained or blessed union, group number two. That's what I'm kind of getting here, is that there's a way this lover card, this particular lover's card, when it comes up, it's talking about like how there's a way in which a lot of outside forces are trying to influence this relationship, or trying to maybe keep the relationship from happening. There might be a lot of outside opinions and influence, group number 2. And I'm sorry to say that, like, I don't want you to feel like it's stressful, because there's another part that I'm hearing from Spirit that it's divine. You have this Asasiya, which is talking about joy. Asasiya is this beautiful earth mother, this beautiful, like, representation of the earth. She's like nursing a baby in the cosmos. And it goes back to that line in Diamonds and Pearls, like, would you rather have a boy or a girl? Like, I really feel like you two are coming together to and this is very specific for some people. There may be a child that results of this union. Tutiba is an interesting story. This card represents the energy of feeling safe in a relationship, feeling like you're going to be protected and taken care of. And that's something that I think will have to be addressed in this relationship. Like, how do you both feel safe as you decide to stand firm in this love that you have for each other? Tutiba was one of the first witches to be persecuted in the Salem witch trials. And she was not, there's some stories that she wasn't even a witch. Like, she used an herbalism and was very helpful. She was an enslaved woman who used herbalism to help people, and they branded her as a witch simply because of, like, who she was. And the skills that she had and the knowledge that she brought forward. And so there's a way in which, for maybe one of you or both of you, there's a community that surrounds your partner, and you need to feel safe in that community, or your partner needs to feel safe in the community with you. However this all works out, there's a way in which people need to feel safe and secure in this relationship. Even if you both are there for each other, there's outside forces, quite literally, group number 2, that have something to say about this relationship, that might be putting negative energy on this relationship. And so you both need to be aware of it. You both need to understand that there's a way in which you have to support and hold each other and protect each other. I don't think you all have to both do it on your own. You have Goddess Isis showing up here as a guardian and a guide for you, group number 2. And around her is the word magic, resurrection, fertility. Get that, group number 2? So I feel like if something is created from this relationship, it could be an actual baby, it could be a project, it could be a partnership of some sort. But the resurrection and the Goddess Isis is such an old, ancient energy. It goes back again to me feeling like this union has something to do with the ancestors. The ancestors have something to do with this partnership. Hence, you can find out more in a divination of some sort, group number 2. But Isis is showing up to say, call on this energy. Call on the energy of your ancient, divine, feminine energies to support the relationship, to protect the relationship. So let's go to the tarot cards for your reading, group number 2. I feel that this is a very powerful union. And again, it's fated, right? It's not just something that was random that happened, or you both saying, oh, I think I just want to try this kind of relationship out. It's not like that, group number 2. There's something that brought you both together, and it was very ancestral, like it was very meant to be. So we're going to put these cards to the side and get to your tarot reading. I feel like this is a relationship that had to happen. That's what I'm hearing, group number 2. That this is not random. That there's something about this relationship that was promised. There was something about a promised gathering or meeting together. Maybe you both in past lives have been together. Maybe you both in past lives decided that in this life you were going to meet up again. That happens to soulmates often, that you're going to meet up again in your next life together, but we don't really always choose how we're going to show up, right? So you both could have been born on other sides of the world, different families, different cultures, but somehow you end up meeting in this modern world and realize that you are for each other. It could be as simple as that, you know, group number 2. It could be that simple. You know, for some of you, it could be someone who doesn't even speak your same language. That's what I'm hearing. We're going to move this up a little bit. So we have Ace of Cups in reverse. We have 8 of Pentacles. Let me choose 2 more cards. And then we'll get to the reading. Yeah, it could have been like, but we also have Empress energy showing up. There's a lot of fertility here, group number 2. Just letting you know. If you specifically are open to having children, this is probably your reading. And there's 9 of Cups in reverse. Here's what I want to say, group number 2. I think in the beginning, there's going to be a sense of hesitancy, maybe from the person coming towards you, this new partner. Not being sure how to approach you emotionally. Not sure if you would be willing to want an emotional relationship with them. But it is someone that works very hard, is someone who has invested a lot. They work really hard. They've been very successful because of that hard work. It makes me feel like someone who's almost like someone who has that kind of traditional immigrant kind of trajectory where you work really hard, you build up your life. I'm being very American specific right now, but just like you come here, you immigrate here, you build up your life, you work really hard. And this Empress, I think that's how they see you, group number 2. Like they see you as someone that's so beautiful, abundant, someone who feels very fertile to them, who's the mother of the earth. And at the same time, I'm kind of getting this hesitancy around the emotional part. A lot of wishes to be emotionally involved with you, wanting to offer you some kind of like cup, wanting to be emotionally fulfilled with you and have a beautiful relationship with you. Let's ask more about these cups. What are these cups in reverse? I feel like maybe some of you, if you were raised in families where you were just taught from the very beginning, some people are raised in families that were like, don't bring this kind of person home, you know, in terms of like, don't date this kind of person. Don't, your parents telling you that, your parents not giving you any options to be, how do you say, excuse me, your parents not giving you many options to expand your world, to be worldly, to know other people in other cultures, or to know this particular culture better. Like there was a way in which you were encouraged to only stay within your own cultural lines or backgrounds. This could even be group number 2. This could even be literally class backgrounds even. You've got 7 of Pentacles here and the Ace of Wands here. It's as if there's fear around the attraction. I think fear of rejection mostly. But the way that this person sees you, group number 2, they're so enamored by you. Enamored? Is that the word? Like they're so, they admire you so much. They see you as someone who is so successful, has it all together. This could be, for some of you, someone that you work with. Someone who sees your intellect and your success. Definitely someone who's a match for it. It could be someone who they don't, you know, like they also too have worked very hard and are very successful. I'm getting very specific things right now. Maybe both work together and you're in a science or tech field. That's kind of very interesting, very specific. But yeah, there's a way in which there's a magician energy here too coming in. Like I think when I get the magician in reverse, it could be a couple of things, and I don't see the energy of someone who wants to disillusion you. But I also see the energy of someone who, oh, okay. I'm kind of getting it. Like this person might want to hide some of their identity from you. They may not tell you specifically. Like for some of you, this is not racial. So the person might kind of look racially ambiguous or ethnically ambiguous, but I'm kind of getting that this person may not outright tell you something about themselves that makes them different. So that can be either in looks, ethnicity, or religion even. Like they may have been raised a particular religion. Maybe you're Muslim and maybe they were raised Christian, but they're not going to tell you that. There's something about them trying to, I don't want to say that they're intentional with hiding who they are, but they're tentative about this. They're not sure how you're going to react. They're not sure how you're going to take them moving towards you in a romantic way. And maybe they've always experienced something very negative, traditionally from, I hate to say it, people of your culture or background. I don't know what it is. There's something that makes them feel like they're unsure. And I know group number 2, you're probably like, what is this? I think that this person, if you want me to tell you the truth, I think this person is someone that you think is very cool. They're very nice. You both have things in common, group number 2. There's an energy shared between you both. I think for some of you, if you already know this person, they haven't quite made a move towards you in a romantic way, but it feels like you all talk all the time, that you have laughs together, that you share giggles together and you know, just like debate each other in a fun way. And like, you know, like there's things that you like about each other. And maybe you haven't even thought about them in a romantic way, but I think they think of you that way. Maybe you're starting to change. Maybe there is like a sense of like, oh, this person could be something. Like, I don't even know if you think of them right now in that way, because this kind of came out a little tilted. Like Knight of Swords. I'm not even sure if you're seeing them right now in that way, but I don't get group number 2. It's just like from the Diamond and Pearls. I feel like Diamond and Pearls is saying what this relationship could be and where it does go is a belief that If this relationship turns romantic, if this is somebody you haven't met yet, but it's about to come into focus, we have the Justice card here in reverse, and then we have the Four of Cups. Justice in reverse is just saying to me that there's some things that are not in balance, that need to be in balance to make this relationship happen. And I guess what I'm getting to is that one of you or both of you, I'm kind of getting one of you, have a certain idea that's been implanted by your family or your culture or society about the other person. And in order for you to move towards what you really want, group number 2, you all have to re-examine that belief. You have to re-examine what you've been taught, what you've decided to cling on to, because you're being presented here with someone that is not fitting that mold that society gave you and said, oh, these people are this. It's not fitting that mold. And there's a way in which you both are coming together, the way in which this is a fated union, it's calling into question belief systems that need to be questioned. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck we have the Hanged Man. It's like you need a new perspective. Either you need a new perspective or this partner needs a new perspective. Now, for some of you, this could also be sexuality. Maybe for the first time, you're attracted to someone of the same sex or someone who's binary. This is like, maybe this is that too. Like there's something that's been embedded in your family that's been really homophobic, or, you know, like there's a way in which there's some belief system that has to be like kind of crossed over so that you can walk towards this person. Also at the bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups in reverse. Before this person can walk towards you and with the love that they have to give you, with the sense of like being able to grant you this cup and this love, there needs to be a change of perspective. I don't get that either one of you are racist or either one of you are homophobic. I don't get that that's you. I get that there is some residual fear around what the people around you, family, friends, society, will think of this relationship. And it might even be unconscious fear. And that is providing some kind of energetic barrier here, group number 2. But there is a message of love here at the bottom of the deck. If you receive that message, Page of Cups, you will, group number 2, walk through a new doorway. A doorway that will allow you to expand what love is, expand on true partnership in what this life can give you, group number 2. It's going to be about this hangman energy in the end. How will you allow yourself or the other person or this whole union allow itself to change perspectives? This hanged one is literally floating above water, floating above their emotions. And their emotions are changing. The moon is in a different phase. The moon is either waxing or waning. And it's like, how do you change your perspective so that it really aligns with the emotions that you're feeling in your heart from this relationship, group number 2? It's a powerful reading. And at the same time, don't forget that your ancestors want to talk to you, group number 2, about this. If you need more clarity, they have clarity for you. If you don't get divinations, then you can simply ask for them to come in your dreams and talk to you about this relationship, talk to you about what they want you to know. I get for many of you, you've met this person already, someone already in your life, someone who already sees you. If you haven't met them, they're coming towards you very soon. Okay, group number 2. I hope that you don't feel discouraged in this reading. I actually feel very encouraged because that Diamond and Pearl song, it really did speak to this relationship flourishing. You also had that Empress card. You had the Lovers card. I mean, there was just like, there's a lot in this relationship. You have Goddess Isis there too. There's something like spiritually unfolding in this relationship if it's allowed to happen. So if this resonates with you, group number 2, please leave a comment. If you even remember later, bookmark this reading, come back later and say, oh, you know what, this happened, and you know, this and that. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching this reading. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, or please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Take care. Hey, group number 3. This is Kamara. Thank you for joining me for this pick a card reading. This is about love in your next new cycle, your next love level up, however you want to view it. But these are things that you're going to need to know about cultivating love in your next new cycle. And so right away, this Venus undone, it speaks to me about some of the Venus in retrograde energy that's happening right now. This is a timeless reading, but to know that Venus in retrograde has us, the energy itself has us going back and looking at maybe past partnerships and just like how we showed up in those past partnerships, how those past partnerships are impacting how we view love right now. Venus undone to me is kind of speaking a little bit about that energy for you in your new cycle. Maybe you've been contemplating on the things that you actually need in a relationship, the things that you want and desire in a relationship, and also to know that relationships don't have to be a place of pain for you anymore or suffering for you. They can be places of beauty and sensuality that's represented by Venus. Like, you know, you see this Venus figure surrounded by flowers and just kind of like light, and there's a way in which you're, maybe some of you, maybe a certain specific amount of you are looking at relationships as not so much doom and gloom anymore, or places where you don't have any control, but places that you want sensuality, you want sexuality, you want the honey, the sweetness of it, the oshun of the relationships to come through. And so that fits with my own oracle card that I drew for I've created some oracle cards over the last like couple of months, and this oracle card is the divine yoni, you know, like this divine yoni, cosmic yoni. It serves as a doorway, a threshold into the void. So like in this card is a lot of symbolism around birth, rebirth, the rebirth of your own sexuality and sensuality, group number 3. And this is regardless of your gender. Like say if you were male embodied, this is around returning to the roots of your sensuality. Where do you get, where do you drop into nurturing and some of the vulnerability that's kind of, what do I say, symbolized by the divine feminine? How do you show up in your relationships that way? How do you give in your relationships that way? Have your relationships certainly just, have they always been kind of real male dominated in the how do you say, traditional way? Or are you showing up as sensitive? Are you showing up as someone who's emotional, can be emotional, offer emotional support, even to yourself? So that's how I would kind of like undo the gender part of it, or expand the gender part of it, is like, the sacred yoni is about pleasure too. It's about, where are you getting that in your relationships? Is that something that you really that you want? It feels like some of you just want pleasure for pleasure right now, and it might mean that you have relationships that just center on pleasure and sensuality. But let's get into the rest of the oracle cards. So you have the Spirit's opening message is faith. We have the Hermit, and we also have the World card as also energies that are coming up, oracle energies. We have Queen Nandi with intuition. And then we have your guide, who is Archangel Azrael, death, rebirth. Again, that same kind of like theme here, group number 3, of life changes, of transitions, almost as if there's Venus, right? But it feels very like a plutonic Venus. I wonder if there's like some kind of astrological transit happening between Venus and Pluto coming up. But either way, it's almost like there's a way in which you're transforming love in your life, partnership in your life, group number 3. It needs more than maybe some of you have always just been focused on what the person did for a living or how they made money. And now you're realizing that doesn't matter as much as how are they able to love you? Do you feel passionate or feel a passion for them? Or do you, like there's a way in which you're paying attention to other things that you want. Venus is also represented by the sign Libra, which seeks balance, which seeks not only like a lopsided, oh, I just want somebody who looks good. No, like, how do you hold me as a whole person? So, but I get for many of you that there's something that has been like sensually missing for you that you're seeking now at this moment. What's also coming up is Spirit's opening message of faith, which is kind of interesting. It's showing a figure here that's like praying. And I wonder how this sensuality is working. And this could be specific for some of you, group number 3, but it could be a way in which all of this is playing with religious beliefs, with spiritual beliefs. Like, am I a pure spiritual person if I want to have these like sexual thoughts? If I have this way of wanting to drop into my sensuality, does that interfere with my faith? Does that interfere with who I am as a God-loving person? So for some of you, I think this Venus undone is a re-examination of that. Like, maybe you've always been taught that good people don't have sex out of marriage, or maybe good people don't use sex just for pleasure. They usually only for procreation. Like, there's ways in which religion has certain messages that, and if we grow up in religious households, we grow up with that messaging, and somehow it can sometimes block when we're with someone how we're able to express fully. Like, there's parts of us that get cut off, group number 3. But you have the Hermit card coming in here with the World, and that's encouraging because it's saying that you are starting to go within and understand that you are a sexual being, group number 3, that you have your needs, and those needs are not, they shouldn't be demonized. They shouldn't be pathologized. Like, who you are as a sensual being is necessary. Like, it's a part of life. We wouldn't have been giving those emotions if they weren't meant to be expressed. And so many of you have been going within. You've been trying to figure out, what does all of this mean? Like, if I if I am close to God, but I also want to experience sex, I want to experience the fullness of my sensuality. And I think you're coming with this world card, you're starting to understand. It's interesting because in this card, the traditional card, the world card, the figure is naked. But in this card, it's the Black Power deck. You get someone who's fully clothed because it's featuring artists. Sorry, there's like a huge siren coming by. I don't know if you could have heard it or not. But anyway, in the traditional world card, the being in the middle is naked. And it's like speaking to, sometimes nakedness also represents authenticity, like our authentic self, the self that isn't covered. But in this world card, it's more about just like your sex is also creativity. Like sex also represents our desire to create. Not necessarily only babies, but just to create in general. And so I think that you are looking at that in your next cycle, group number 3. Like there's this part of you that maybe for some of you, this has been a life that didn't get to express this, a life that didn't get, so far has had that expression suppressed. You also have Queen Nandi here, and she's, her intuition. Queen Nandi, the story of Queen Nandi is that she's Shaka Zulu's mother, and she became pregnant with Shaka Zulu, and Shaka Zulu's grandparents refused to believe that she was pregnant, did not want to accept the pregnancy. And Queen Nandi was like, no, I'm pregnant. I'm going to have this powerful baby who turns out to be Shaka Zulu. But it's just kind of like, she had to use her own intuition because there was a lot of like doubt around her. And I think that there's something in that story that connects to you, group number 3, the connection of there's something more to what you're supposed to be experiencing in relationships. There's something there, another part of you that needs expression. And other people are saying, listen, if you're just about spirit or our religion, you'll never need this part of yourself. And there's something inside of you that's like, no, I actually think I do. There's a part of me that feels like I'm being called to bring this forward in myself. We'll pull some cards to understand more of this, group number 3, but your guide is Archangel Azrael. And he talks about but this energy talks about death and rebirth, transitions, life changes. I believe that some of you are transitioning out of a particular faith. You might be transitioning out of a religion, or you might be thinking of how you locate yourself in this religion differently. So for some of you, this could be liberation from maybe spiritual beliefs that believe that women didn't deserve to have sensuality. But and I don't know, we're going to take this as an educational moment, but the clitoris in a woman's vagina, that is the only organ known to any human being that serves the primary and only function of pleasure. There's no other reason for the clitoris except pleasure. And it's not necessary for procreation, but it's there for pleasure. And there's something to be said about that women were blessed with that only. The idea of just receiving pleasure without having to procreate. You can get more into it and you can go down a rabbit hole of that. But I think this is speaking to you, group number 3, that you are reclaiming your sexuality. You're reclaiming your sensuality. Some of you may be even experimenting with your sexuality at this point. Whatever this is, Archangel Azrael is here to say, I can support you with this. Like, And so it was funny because all these songs came out as I was picking the oracle cards for these readings. And the song that came out for you all, group number 3, was George Michael's Faith. And I was like, oh wait, hold on, this group just has the Faith card. And so it was funny because I was like, okay, I haven't heard that song in a while. Let me look it up on YouTube. And I watched the video and I just wrote down a couple of lines. It was like, so I've waited so long since we were friends. So, and then it says, before this river, there comes an ocean. Before I throw my heart on the floor, need someone to hold me while I wait for something more. I gotta have faith. And he also talks in his song about having a foolish notion. So there's something there about, and what caught me, which is really funny that we're talking about religion, is that in the video, George Michael is wearing a cross on his ear, like an earring that's a cross. And so again, I think it speaks for many of you, maybe not all of you, that there is some kind of religious challenge in you and this new love that's coming towards you. Maybe this new love is opening you up in such a passionate way, a way in which you've never thought to express yourself. And so let's go to the numbers here. We have the number 10, and 10 represents, again, faith, trust in yourself. And then we have the number 21, which is versatility, energy, communication. And then we have the number, what number is this? Number 9, the hermit, is the sage wisdom, allowing for yourself to own your divine light, allowing for yourself to change the world. So then we have this Queen Nandi is number 35. That has to do with motivation, creativity, imagination, wisdom, vision, adventure. And then the number 14 of Archangel Azrael, which is balance and harmony, temperance and prudence. So there's a way in which you are seeking that which you are, group number 3, also along with what you are becoming, like the things that were missing for you. Maybe that passion, maybe that sex, that feeling of pure sexual energy. Maybe that's what needs to be expressed to give you a full sense of self. So let's set up these oracle cards to the side to go to your reading, tarot reading. But I get here, group number 3, that for some of you, this is just brand new territory for you, that you've never really known these kind of feelings were going to come up for you. And now the universe wants you to be open to that. The universe is saying there is more to who you are than just being someone's wife or husband. Maybe it is for you to experience what it feels like to be in sexual union with someone. There are practices on this earth, group number 3, that are called sacred sexual practices, like tantra, or like there's something there where there's an exploration ahead for you. If this is sexuality, maybe some of you are going to experiment sexually and try to understand yourself. And maybe that's what this new cycle is completely about. But let's find out. So we're going to go with the tarot cards and just see what comes forward for you. The devil. Speaking of the devil. So we have the devil here. Let's choose the rest of the cards and then we'll get to the meanings. We have the Empress in reverse. We have the 5 of Wands in reverse. Let me choose just one more card here. Group number 3. Or 2 more cards. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Make sure that's one more card. I'll move this over here. Ten of Wands upright. And Four of Pentacles in reverse. So group number 3, what I think is very interesting here is that this devil comes out right when we're talking about sexual pleasure, sexual exploration. And I want to say that I think this is some of maybe the fear of will I get pulled under, and that will exploration of my sexual self just pull me into some energy that will take over? Will I just become so obsessed with sex? And I think that that's like the narrative, right, that many of us have been given if we were brought up in a very conservative religious household. Sex, takes you over. You become literally the devil. And I think that this is just for you like a concern. And also that Empress energy being in reverse. Will I fall out of purity? Will I fall out of Empress energy? Will I not be able to exude this wholeness of femininity? Will I relinquish that kind of, like, the Empress is kind of like a holy mother in some senses. Will I give up that energy if I explore myself sexually? And this Five of Wands in reverse, I think you're coming out of inaction, of feeling like kind of frozen in all of this. And you've got this Three of Pentacles, because I think for a lot of you, it's like, what will people think? What will people think of me if I do these things? What will my family think of me? What will my friends think of me? Will my friends not want to hang out with me anymore? But I kind of feel like this, for some of you, is already happening. Like, you're starting to veer off. You're starting to be curious about yourself. And maybe the friendships that you've had, they just don't hold anything for you anymore. Like, you're looking for something new. With this Ten of Wands, you're tired of carrying the burdens. For some of you, this is specific, the burdens of being a feminine that has to be pure, that has to be like conservative and pure and virginal. Like, you're just like, this is too much. Like, there's like a way in which you're lifting that burden with the Ten of Wands to say, I just want to be myself. Like, I just want to not have all these expectations on me and explore who I am, love who I am, be who I am, get the pleasure from being who I am. And you've got this Four of Pentacles. It's like, if you look closely at this card, it's like kind of feeling like you have your own self in a chokehold. But it was reversed. It's like coming out of that sense of like, I don't have to restrain myself anymore to experience love. Like, this is like breaking yourself out of the prison of that. Yeah, like this Two of Swords, even like breaking yourself out of the prison of saying, I can't do this. Of making choices that are not just looped in your head about what's right, what's logical. You have this Nine of Pentacles here too. I think these are just like a lot of fears coming up about how this will impact your life. For some of you, this is about maybe dropping into a different sexual orientation and wondering how is it going to impact your life, your job, your work, your relationships with your family, your friends. But also feeling the desire, the need to express more fully, even if you're not experimenting with your sexuality, just experimenting with like being a sexually expressive person. So let's ask about the relationship here, because at the bottom of the deck, right when I was about to shuffle and ask about the relationship, at the bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. He came up in somebody else's reading too. And so that King of Wands, for you, group number 3, this is a very sexual energy. King of Wands is highly sexual out of all of the, what I want to say, like embodied persons of the tarot. This King of Wands energy usually is very passionate, very sexual. This is like the bad boy, or the bad boy, bad girl energy. Like, just like loves to have sex, like really got passionate feelings. And maybe this is who's coming towards you. Tell us more about this King of Wands energy. Maybe this is the whole reason, like this person is reawakening you. This relationship is reawakening you. It's taking you out of feeling so, wow, we got a whole bunch of cards here. Feeling so conservative about who you are. Yeah, this person is going to open up a whole brand new world for you. You've got the Universe card here, group number 3. This King of Wands is going to show you the world. And when I say that, I just mean that they're going to open up new expressions for you. And again, we got this 3 of Cups kind of showing up, like there's something about like people maybe not liking this energy for you. But you also got a Knight of Pentacles, which is like another energy coming towards you. I really do feel like for you, group number 3, there might be, let's look, there might be a couple of energies that you're going to be dealing with that you want to be sexually involved with. And maybe that is the tug, like you want to be sexually involved with both of these energies. And maybe both of these energies, the Knight of Pentacles is someone who's a little bit more, oh, I see. The Knight of Pentacles is a little bit slower energy, younger, slower. This King of Wands is a little bit much more mature, but still mature and playboy kind of energy. I don't want to put too much gender on it, but you know, like, and so one's like younger. And I kind of get for some of you, maybe this is like a younger person who you were expected to be with, like someone who's, you know, of your same religion, or same, like kind of like someone who's approved by your family and friends. Whereas this is not someone who's approved by your family or friends. Like this King of Wands is like older than you, perhaps, much more experienced, definitely much more sexually experienced, and brings and wants to give you the world. Remember, wants to give you the universe. So you're dealing with these 2 energies, like 2 are coming your way. I don't know. I'm not saying you're going to be sexually involved with both of them, but I think that 2 energies are vying for your attention. One that feels very much like approved by society, and the other one that's kind of like the one that you want to have this adventure with. You've got the Hanged Man in reverse. And then you also have got the 4 of Swords. I think it's important for you to not just change your mind based on what other people will think, based on what you feel like is the most logical choice for you, group number 3. I think that you have an opportunity here to gain experience. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. You have an opportunity here to know the world with this energy. Or you have the opportunity to kind of just stay steady and sure with this energy. Sorry if this is so messy, but this is what I'm seeing. 2 choices. One that's going to open up experience in life and world for you. Any other that's gonna kind of keep you in that same kind of like wishing for something different, and it's not really gonna give you anything different. So I hope that's clear for you. Let's go to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, because here you are again. I sense that you are this Queen of Cups, group number 3. You're wanting to be fulfilled. You're reflecting on what would make you feel whole. But you also have this 3 of Swords. I don't think this is what you want. I don't think that you want to be involved with both energies at the same time. So it's coming out reverse. Like, that's not the route you want to take. Like, you don't want to get that wild with it. But to avoid that, you've got to remember who you are and your needs. And you get the Chariot here. It also comes up in reverse. Almost like you don't want to make a choice. But that choice, it really will matter for you. It really will. It will help you decide to choose yourself. So that's kind of Spirit's advice, you know. Choose yourself. However it is that you feel would work for you. But it's not all laid out and pretty, you know. Group number 3, sometimes we have to experience things with certain people just to grow and evolve and to know that, oh, that was maybe pleasurable, but it's not for me long term. Or that was pleasurable and I want more of that. Or, you know, instead of just going with who is safe and then never having the experience of what you're being called to. So it's kind of like a life choice. Like, how do you want to learn your lessons? And will the lesson be there regardless? You know, you could get married to this person and still end up meeting this person down the line and still wanting that experience, you know? So it's just kind of like, how do you want it to happen? This is kind of Venus calling you and saying, how do you want all of this to come in so that you can have these beautiful experiences of feeling like the universe is available to you in the way that you want it, group number 3. So this is what I have for you. Let me know if this resonates at all for you in the comments. And if you like it, please give it a like sign, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to doing more readings for you in 2022. Take care. Peace.